Today we'll be doing an AMA with Mr. GC. So, as we all know, Mr. GC has actually joined UBX, and it's been a very, very spectacular event that he actually able to join us today. So, thank you for his time, and we would like to invite Mr. GC.
Hey, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining us, Mr. GC.
Yes, very happy to be here and good
Uh,
hello to everybody.
okay, where are you now, Mr. GC?
I'm actually just getting back from Singapore and we just landed in KL just a little bit before this call and now we're on the road. So there might be a little bit of a disconnection, but let's hope it works. Let's get through this AMA.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. GC, and thank you for your time. So, basically, we actually prepared some questions. All right. To actually to ask to know more about you. Okay. So, maybe we'll start with something simple. All right. Maybe you can introduce to those to out there do not know who are you. So maybe a rough introduction of yourself.
Yes, sure. So a quick introduction about myself. My name is GC and I'm from Singapore. And I have been in the crypto industry for as long as I can remember. It's been about almost 10 years now since I bought my very first Bitcoin. So ever since then, I've been in mining, in Bitcoin mining, Ethereum mining, and I've worked in two crypto exchanges that you probably know of. So the first one being Maxi Global, MEXC, where I spent about 2 years, 2.5 years around there. And then I went on to Binance, which I spent about also roughly another 2 years there. So in both of these exchanges, I held the position of a listing manager. So in Maxi Global, I was the listing lead for the non-Chinese projects. So anything you see that is not Chinese is handled by me. And in Binance, I handled listing of all NFT projects, tokens, NFTs, mystery boxes, and even the celebrity partnerships like Cristiano Ronaldo, those were also handled by me. So fast forward to today, I have my own fund, GC Capital, projects in the
Okay.
crypto space. Yeah.
Okay. Without before me going more further, I'm actually very curious. Yeah, I believe everyone know that you actually started in crypto industry very very early. So maybe we want to know actually how old are you this year actually, Mr. GC?
This year, I'm actually, I just passed my 25th birthday. So, yeah, 25 years old this year.
Wow, fantastic. We didn't know, we know you are young, but we didn't know you are that young. Okay, so basically, we have some questions prepared for you, okay, to understand and know you even more, okay, from aside from the presentation that you give to the community. So this is our questions that we prepared, okay. So question one, we based on your sharing in previous podcasts, all right, you stated that you being an entrepreneur, so which industry, business or which industry you actually started with?
So, that's a good question because I think the word started with is very important over here. And actually I started all the way back from my schooling days. So in secondary school, and my very, very first form of money making is actually selling musical instruments and also some appliances. So back then, Alibaba was new. So my first business actually involved bringing in products from China into Singapore and then selling it in Singapore. Then afterwards, it moved on to running small businesses. I had a flower shop. One of my very first businesses was a flower shop. And I also ran three little food restaurants, food stalls in Singapore. That was my very beginning. Then learn a little bit of know-how on how to launch businesses using social media. I went on into helping other businesses uh, do up their social media, work on their website, do some technical marketing, as what we would call back in the days. Then that was where I got my very first step into the startup industry. That's where I started raising money for my business. And then I started servicing actually some of our local Singaporean government companies, which include Singapore Airlines, and also some other well-known name, ST Engineering, Singtel, and so on and so forth. So in that industry, I focus more on selling new tech. So anything that you can imagine that is innovative that just came out, I was focused on bringing them to these traditional business owners that still haven't used them yet. So that was my very beginning for the entrepreneurship side.
But then that how are you back that time when you actually started?
Sorry,
How are you when you actually started? Because I believe when you said you started, I
everything.
mean,
Okay, so yeah, yeah. So when you mentioned starting right, if you're talking about the musical instruments part, it was something like 14 years old, and that was when I started to buy and sell things. Not just musical instruments, actually in video games, in whether it's just buying products from China and selling in Singapore. That started from 14, 15 years old. And about my legit business, so the flower business, it started when I was around 17 years old. It's still around today, to this day in the west of Singapore. And my food skewer business actually started right before COVID. So
oh,
yeah, so all along the way, I come and go in a lot of small businesses. So that's as far as entrepreneurship goes, lah. But basically around 14 years old. Then my most active period was 18 to 20.
but then I believe a lot of teenagers, or I will say youngsters, around at age 14, they're actually busy with their high school. But how do you have actually, what came to your mind to actually start with all this, or what encouraged you to actually start with this entrepreneurship?
Actually, it's very, very similar to a lot of the entrepreneurial stories in like places like America and the UK. It always starts from selling things to your friends in school, you know. And for me, it was selling like textbooks, selling candy, and a lot of other fun stuff that I got to buy that my friends didn't have the money to buy. And they are not able to buy those things because they do not have a bank account in 14 to 15 years old. In Singapore, you need to be at least 16 to own and function a bank account. So back then, I was able to do my business thanks to one kind of technology, which is also the technology that all of us are in today, called cryptocurrency. So thanks to cryptocurrency, I was able to buy items from China. And we all know China is actually the earliest adopter of cryptocurrency payments. So I happen to have a partner that I met online that was looking for people to buy his items with cryptocurrency. So that's where I got into it. And also before that, I was also into cryptocurrency because of the video games I'm playing. So that's actually where I met the guy as well. So all of this happened within this networking, as you call it.
Okay, because there's one part of my question is because I was actually very, very interested how old or how you actually started crypto. So I guess that starts to explain your early exposure into crypto. But then what game is it that actually made you to start to invest in crypto? Is it I heard, is it Maple Story that you said previously?
Yes, yes. So actually, maybe some of our Western friends here might not really know about this video game, but yes, it's Maple Story. It's a video game, 2D side-scrolling video game from Korea that was very, very popular in Asia. So that was where I actually started. And my very, very first Bitcoin was actually purchased, and I exchanged 1.5 Bitcoin for like a level 200 account in Maple Story. So that was my true beginning. Can you imagine spending 1.5 Bitcoin for a video game account? Yeah, it's Maple Story. It's a role-playing
Probably
video game.
the time 1.5 Bitcoin is how much, yeah, for it?
Back then it was less than 500 USD. And because I already have some kind of savings back then, through all the festive seasons, we get some kind of money from our
Red
parents.
Packet.
Uh,
Yeah, I
then
see.
then I saved it up, and back then we also had the Bitcoin ATMs in Singapore. So I tried to just put some money in, get my own address, and that's how I got started with owning my first Bitcoin. And actually, the true motivation was the video game, and I just found a reason to buy the item. That's why I got into cryptocurrency. Yes.
Wow. I mean, yes, I heard that during our age, or maybe towards people in earlier, Maple Story is one of the famous game, and people get involved into crypto. I didn't know that you get involved because of Maple Story. I wish I get to know crypto during that time. Okay, so I believe that being your journey in crypto is very significant in your life, because why? Not everyone in their age below, all right, below 20, below 21 or below 25, that made 16, almost 16 million USDT in profit. So at that point of time, all right, how do you feel? I mean, you have that much money, how do you feel? I mean, you can actually basically retire, or some people will need a lifetime to able to achieve this profit. So at that point of time, what is in your mind having that much profit,
Yes. So actually, contrary to beliefs, most people here would think after you get that much money, because the money came to me quite fast. I got quite lucky in investing in meme coins, and I was one of the first few players that invested big amounts of money into such a ridiculous category of tokens. And all this money actually came to me in like the span of 1, 2 weeks. Then the feeling I had at that point of time, right, was that this was not real. And that's also because at that point of time, the real transfer of value from USDT to fiat currencies were not very mature. So at that point of time, I was thinking that, we should turn this money into an empire. I should make more money out of money. And I was reading a lot of books as well. And one of the famous quotes that I always have as a mantra is let your money work for you. So after making that much money, immediately I knew that I could not hold on to it. I know that I cannot be spending all this money. And it just happens that when I was making all this money, I could not publicly disclose as well because of the tax issues. We
Yes,
do not
correct.
want to cash
Yeah.
out. Yeah, because once you cash out, then it's realized profits, then you have to pay tax for that. So that's why we
Yes.
did not turn this into USDT. So what we did after making that money, so 16 million is just the on paper profit that we make on trading. So the actual real profit that we actually make is actually far more than this, because we invest in a lot of early stage projects as well during that time. So this amount now has grown into a company holdings that we actively invest. So we don't only invest in cryptocurrency, we actually also invest in real estate. For example, in Phuket, we have a development for a luxury villa that have about 30 houses that is already built right now in Phuket. And we also have a lot of RWA assets as well. So RWA companies, for example, in Malaysia, we have a glass company. And of course, with my partner Eddie as well, we also have an island in Malaysia. So our investments has spanned across many different industries as well. So the first thought was, this was not real, and we just wanted to learn how to multiply that money.
Okay, probably around how old are you when this actually happened?
2021, that was my biggest windfall in 2021. So if
I
I
think
were
you're
to count
around,
backwards, I was 21 years old back then. Yes.
okay. And I believe that you actually graduate from UK, correct?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, being 21 years old, having that much fortune, so just imagine that so many people at that age are most probably doing college, studying. And at time or point of time, you're actually a billionaire already. But why do you actually continue? I mean, why do you actually choose to continue to study, and instead, you can actually do and so many things with that much of money already. But you choose
Yes.
to go through all these things. Yeah.
Yes. So reason why this industry is successful as it is today is because it follows a lot of fundamentals of our traditional finance system. So what I understood back then was that we need to understand how money is made and how money works in a economy. So even before I started my degree at at the university, I was actually also studying finance already, and I was actually already in working in a bank before. So all of this crypto stuff actually was a secondary hustle. And I feel in order to really be someone with a legacy, someone that can be remembered, you need to be a master of your own art. That's why I started to at least have the most basic knowledge in finance, because I know in finance you have all kinds of certifications. I wanted to have at least a degree and the honors to be able to preach this industry to others that don't understand it. So those that are in the banking industry, I can also explain to them what crypto is like, what's the equivalent of it in the industry that they are working, maybe 20, 30 years for. Because a lot of these things are very new. So I needed to know what they are learning, what kind of content these people uh, are taking in order to be able to sell to them. So that's
Understand?
the reason
Because
why I
yeah.
continue studying. And actually, right now, I'm still studying as we speak.
Hello, Mr. GC?
Yes, hello.
Oh
Can
yeah,
you hear me?
sorry. Just now, yeah, yeah. Just now, you broke in the scan. Okay, no worry. So, study. You mentioned that you were studying.
Yes, actually, even right now, I'm still studying as we speak. So I feel that education doesn't really stop when you graduate. So maybe you don't get the certification, but you have to keep learning.
Okay, Mr. GC, I totally agree with you. This is why I have to relate some to a bit to UBX. Okay, so basically UBX also creates an importance in education. This is why UBX Academy is created. It should educate the community to share with people with what we actually know, and together we believe education is a very very important factor. So it's and being fast forward, all right. Since you finished your degree, you did your entrepreneurship, your banking. So, what made you join Maxi, and how do you manage to join Maxi at the point of time?
Okay, good question. So actually, to be honest with everyone over here, like I mentioned before, crypto for me was always a secondary part of my life,
Correct,
in the
correct.
past. So I had, entrepreneur, and I had to serve the
Yeah,
army in Singapore. All of this happened on the sidelines. And even when I was studying for my degree, I had this whole career in crypto. So I had my job in Maxi, in Binance when I was still in university. So this is only possible because in the crypto industry, you don't actually have to be present in a particular place. And you're able to also complete all of these certifications as you go along. So again, going back to the question,
oh wait,
uh,
means you are
yes,
actually joined Maxi during your college time or university time, is it?
yes, that is correct. That is correct. I actually joined
Wow.
Maxi when I was still in my university. So actually at that time, when I applied, I did not apply with my resume. I applied with my website. So because I had my own client base in my previous business, and they are coming to Singapore to expand on global markets because the Chinese market is vastly different from anything that's outside. And at that point of time, the crypto, social media, internet space is also not very mature. So I did what I know about marketing and business. I created their Twitter page. I created the English version of their website. I created the English version, or rather the globalization of their app. I did their Telegram channels, their Discord. And believe it or not, when Maxi came to me, I was actually hired as a branding contractor. And I was helping them with all kinds of branding work, logo, advisory, and those kind of stuff, and getting them suited into the Singapore um, business environment, getting the licenses, getting the entities registered and all that. It was only after where they realized that they wanted to keep me that I actually went in to do listing. Because at that time, when they just came out of China, they could not hire people. They could not manage to find the right people for the work. So they asked me if I wanted to convert from a contractor into an employee. So that happened. And fast forward, in a short few months, uh, people that they keep hiring keep leaving the job. And I ended up hopping quite a few levels. I started from an associate into a manager and then into a lead. So that was how my story started with Maxi Global.
Because as I understand your story, your your timeline, you're actually juggling with your business, crypto, your studies, and this is actually you juggle very well because the time amount of time that you need to actually to accommodate all these things in one is like very, I believe it's good. You require a very good time management. So my point of view is that how do you actually able to juggle all these three together? It's been very time consuming, especially you are the manager for Maxi at that point of time.
Yep. So actually, because I had the position of a branding contractor at that time, I was actually not really taken um seriously as an employee. They just, we want to come to office, then come to the office. It's up to you. Because anyway, I got the work done. And actually, time management to me at that point of time when I was doing it, right, I felt like I did not manage my time very well. But I guess right now, looking back, everything turned out fine. And I think the real secret is to have no life aside from work. So in the morning, I wake up, check my emails with my business, and then at the same time, I log into the work software for Maxi Global, and then moved on to clinching all these listing deals for businesses. And for those of you that don't know, most of these listings for cryptocurrencies in exchanges actually happen through Telegram. So you don't have to create these offline meetings. You don't have to actually go uh you know into a formal meeting setting to actually get a deal signed. So that was actually a very, very convenient for us. And to receive payment for all these listings, we just accepted cryptocurrency. So it did not take much time as well. So actually, even on top of doing all of this, I still have a lot of time left for my studies. So it wasn't really a challenge for me.
Yeah, I believe when you say that way means you can do it anywhere, anytime, as long you have Wi-Fi connection and your laptop and your phone, you can get all things done. So my question is, what made you join Binance at the point of time?
Yep. So actually, before even joining Binance, I already made the money that I had. The 16 million that I shared, that was
Yeah,
actually before I joined Binance. And when I joined Binance, it really wasn't a money thing for me. It wasn't a progression thing for me. But it's more of foreshadowing because I knew the industry I wanted to get into after leaving Binance. And I used that as a goal, as a motivation. And when I entered Binance, it was more of a stepping stone into getting to where I eventually want to be. Because I wanted to be connected with the top in the industry. I wanted to be connected with the best networks, the best projects, and the best government authorities. I wanted to be connected to all of those, and I could not get anywhere close unless I was in an important department in Binance. So even before joining Binance, I was offered multiple positions, not NFT because NFT department was not even existent back then. So I was actually just placed into operations, but then transcended into NFT like 1 month after joining Binance. So that's the reason why I went into Binance in the first place.
I see. I see. We can totally understand because at that point of time, monetary is not no longer the most important factor, but the recognition and meeting the right people at that position definitely requires this step. So I believe that in Binance, you have actually made a very much a lot of successful event, yeah, especially working with all these uh high figures or important celebrities. So what is the most proudest moment or your most proud uh, being part of Binance at that point of time?
Okay, so there's actually not really much to be proud about on the events and like representation side because the department that I was part of actually had a NDA and we could not actually go to events as the listing team. We cannot actually appear publicly in front of people and to show off to everyone like, hey, I'm like Binance listing. We can't actually say those kind of stuff. So I guess what really made me the proudest and an achievement that I'm more you know connected to is actually to create a completely new genre, completely new category of crypto at that time. Maybe right now it still exists today, but back then it was actually very new. And that That category of tokens is actually utility in-game tokens using cryptocurrency. So when
Yeah,
we started NFT in Binance, when we started the department itself, what was NFT? NFT was the monkey pictures. It was the images,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the JPG.
Correct.
There is not much utility to it except for it being like the greater fools theory. You buy this for a price, you want it to be sold for more expensive than what you bought it for. But what we really did at Binance, and it was only possible with Binance, was to gamify NFTs. And BNB chain at that time, like the Binance Smart Chain, is actually the biggest gaming ecosystem in crypto. So what we did was to try to find a way to leverage these advantages that we had and turn it into something that is really game changing for the industry. So what kickstarted everything was what we call the mystery box. And if you look at the crypto industry right now, you see mystery box here, mystery box there. The whole
Yeah.
trend started with Binance actually. And at that time, we were the ones that designed the whole NRSR, SSR, those kind of terminologies. We were the ones that picked it up from the gachapon games, those kind of pay to win games. We got those kind of mechanisms and mixed it into NFTs itself. So what made me really proud was that this mystery box that was seemingly very innocent at that time turned out to be a huge part of the industry. And almost every video game that you see on crypto right now involves mystery box. It involves NFTs. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make NFT widely used. And we were successful at doing that only because we can create these kind of gaming products, gamified experiences. So I guess my most proud moment was to be able to kickstart the whole industry and bring them all into NFTs.
Okay, understood. So at that point of time, I believe, I would say that you are actually very, very successful at a very young age, right? Despite after leaving Binance, you actually have your very, very plan of route, I believe. But then, why did you actually started GC Capital?
So actually, this is actually to my social circle in Binance and to the people that know me, it's actually quite a sensitive topic because the reason why I left Binance was not because I intentionally wanted to leave. It was because of the downturn of the entire industry. It was not looking good for NFTs because I left Binance in the year 2023. And that was when NFTs were getting cold. No one was really investing in NFTs anymore. We saw a drop in volume, and it was just some kind of preparation that I had. Was to leave while I still have a good reputation, and I didn't want to have a reputation where I came from a department that closed down. So I left where I was at the top of my career, and when I chose to leave, I wanted to keep investing because I knew I had all this money and this money needed to do something. And being in an exchange, I wasn't able to really help people be successful. I can only help those that are already successful to be even more successful in their businesses. So I wanted to change that. And even while in Binance, I was already investing under a pseudonym that like an anonymous alias that I used when I was doing Binance. I was already investing in a lot of projects at the time. So I just wanted to make this into a business for my own. And when I left finance, actually, I started off first as an incubation company. And maybe you can find some information on the internet, but it's called Wonderful Labs. That was my very first company. And then it transformed into GC Capital further on after like one year. So from 2023 to 2024, that's where we changed into GC Capital. Yep.
Oh, I see. All right. Now, I believe that you actually share with people in your PPT the reason why you actually ventured, all right, or to become UBX strategy partner. So I would like to actually ask, okay, why UBX? Why do you actually choose UBX as your strategy partner? I believe you have gone through a selections, and you choosing UBX being the best choice that you choose. Why do you choose UBX?
Okay, that's a good question. So again, I have shared this before in some of my classes, some of my Zooms that I had with UBX. I mentioned a point about how every project in crypto, every company in crypto is more or less the same. The product that they are pushing is more or less the same. So, for example, in Binance, are you able to say that Binance and OKX is like two different kind of products? They offer the same thing, but what really makes it different is the people. And for me, when I invest in a project, I always need to meet the team that is behind a company, a product, or a token. And for UBX, I think everything, the environment itself, is just right. And you can think about it from the point of view as a parasite. So if you're a parasite, you need to find the perfect host to get into to achieve your goals. So for me, I found UBS as the perfect host for me to bring in more money and to make myself more successful and to make the people around me as well successful as well. And because I have done it before, and UBS reminds me a lot of my past. So it reminds me a lot about my days in the MEXC, the MEXC Global Exchange. That's the reason why I chose it. And also because when I came down to the office, I was greeted by a lovely group of people, a lovely group of leaders around the world. I've met people from India, from Nigeria, China, all kinds of countries. And I just felt like, this is the right opportunity to um, spend most of my time at. So that's the reason why I chose to build this exchange hand in hand with the founding team and the core management.
Wow, actually, I joined UBX. For those out there that actually listen to our podcast today, if today GC is actually joining UBX, what are you guys waiting for? And what are you guys thinking? All right. Since GC, so successful guy, is already on board with us, guys don't even need to think twice because why? UBX definitely is the place where you can come and join us. So besides that, all right, I would like to ask something towards Mr. Jizin. What do you think you can bring the value to UBX exchange?
Yep. So the value that I bring, I think, comes in many different sectors. So the first one being experience, and I know what a successful exchange looks like, and I know how to make or rather create innovative products that can hit the mass markets. And on top of that, I also have a whole portfolio of projects, a whole portfolio, wide network of people, and a whole bunch of projects that have not launched yet that was already successful even before the token went live. So I'm just very confident that we're able to bring all this volume into just one place, to funnel everything into one place, and then we can make something out of it. So we could also have the other option of investing in 100 projects and listing on all different exchanges. But I was introduced to the idea of bringing all my volume into one centralized body, and that is UBX for me. So the kind of value that I'll bring in, what you can expect as an investor of UBX is top-notch projects, people that have already raised millions of dollars, even with or without our help. They are already successful. They are in their own means. They are invested by the biggest names in the industry. And by the time they come into UBX, they're gonna blow up. So basically, all of us that have invested in UBX will have the chance to also be a part of this project. And on top of being a part of all of these projects that I bring in, the exchange will also make more money because of all of these tokens that we are bringing in. And we believe when we have all this volume brought into one place, we are able to really take UBS as an exchange into the big leagues. So, of course, the first goal is top 100, then top 50, then eventually we'll hit the top 10. And if we can keep it running uh, with the same momentum, we're gonna hit the top five in a matter of a couple of or like 1 2 years maybe.
Wow. And you guys out there that listening to this podcast being excited, you know, this is actually a very rare opportunity and it is the right time. I mean, what are you guys waiting for? And for those there that do not know what is UBEX all about, please stay tuned to our podcast and also get to know, okay, from your leaders or community inviters that actually share to you guys this podcast? Because this is a very, very important. Even VC actually agrees that this is actually the right time, and with his participant into UB Exchange, it is actually a game changing because why this is actually giving you guys opportunity to come to enjoy, to actually to make go pot of gold with together with this is experience and knowledge that he actually gained from past experience and past profession. So today we also believe that with GC Capital coming in board, definitely is going to bring a significant value into UBX exchange. So what for Mr. GC, so basically my next question is what can investors and believers of UBX to expect in future with GC Labs in the picture? Right.
Yes, so we have always only spoken about GC Capital for this whole session until now. So we haven't really touched on GC Labs. So let me share with you what GC Labs will be able to bring into the exchange. So GC Labs, first and foremost, it is our incubation arm. So the investing in GC Capital actually is just a couple of people approving, reviewing projects, and bringing them into the big exchanges. We don't need a whole company for that. The majority of our team is actually in GC Labs. And that's where the tech team lies, the customer service, the branding, the business development, they are all going to be in GC Labs. So what you can expect in GC Labs is we are going to be launching projects nonstop. We're going to be bringing all of these projects into market, and we're going to take them all into exchanges through the company GC Labs. And also, this labs company will be somewhat like your launchpad projects department of UBX. So you can imagine that this whole company is gonna be a small branch of UBX, and we will be also be working on the launchpad product on the UBX exchange as well. So any kind of projects that you see in the future in the launchpad has something to do with us, and we will be working on making all of these projects successful. As any of you that have ever been in one of my Zooms or one of my classes offline, I actually shared the type of partners that we have. So every single project that comes in, it's not going to be just some small project where there's a token, there's no website, there's no real team. It's just an idea. You won't really see that with us because we will be making sure that every single one will have uh, the best connections in the industry, and they'll have access to some of the best facilities that the industry can offer. So I'm quite excited that we are able to bring in, or rather to be part of UBS in this incubation department, because we are going to be able to not only leverage on our experience and what we know best, but we're also able to leverage on the community members as well as the expertise of the core management in UBX. So a simple summary, what you can expect is, again, top-notch projects with top-notch accessories, top-notch branding, and also top-notch recognition in the industry.
Wow, it is a very, very important role in GC because why this is actually what makes proper business opportunity that actually able listing and also bringing in into UBX um, exchange. So guys, for those all of you out there, after this podcast, you actually get to learn that GC is a very, very successful person at with such a young age with vast experience and knowledge. He is actually helping UBX to try to be the top five. And we also believe that we will be top five because why at this moment nothing is impossible. And with GC Capitals and GC Labs together in the picture, I believe we are able to achieve this accomplishment. So Mr. GC, last one. Anything you wish to say to our UBX community members out there?
Yep. So again, I'm very happy to be part of the family in UBX. And also, looking forward to meeting more and more of you in our multiple offline sessions in the future, because I know we have so many things planned in the year of 2025, and I hope that I'll be able to meet each and every one of you and to talk about opportunities in the space, because I'm sure that UBX is not your only investment, and I'm sure you want to know more as well about the industry. So likewise for me, I want to know more about what you do aside from crypto. So I'm very excited to be part of the family so that I'm able to meet every single one of you. So I think that's all for me. And thank you everyone for attending this AMA. And of course, feel free when you ever meet me offline, feel free to kick up a conversation. I'll be happy to share about the industry and about some of the little details that I don't really talk about in my presentations.
Thank you, JC, also. And from UBX community members, we are also happy to have you on board together with us. With you on board, we feel much more confident, and we believe with your experience and knowledge, definitely going to bring UBX Academy, UBX Exchange to a higher level. So thank you for Mr. JC for joining us today for today's AMA podcast. And thank you to all the community members that join us today and all the community members that listening to our podcast. Stay tuned for our daily podcast at 8 p.m. daily every day. And my name is Victor. I'm signing out. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you.